You're watching the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. Now here's your hosts, Tom, Nick, Ryan, and Dave. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. It's you, it's me, it's NRD. Uh-huh. Let's start the show.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is me, it is TND. I pointed at the wrong squares there. TND, the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. Welcome to episode 134, post SummerSlam here on the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. But yes, we are on the heels of SummerSlam, and more importantly, the Jake Paul Nate Diaz fight, which we're going to break down for blow by blow. Just kidding. I would rather shoot the shit.
I got real worried.
Rather shoot the shit than talk about that fight any more than I already did before we came on this show. But yeah, so SummerSlam happened last night. We're also going to go through, we have a top 15 list that I'm going to have Tom and Nick guess after we do the SummerSlam recap on most wins in WWE history, including house show wins. But yeah, so SummerSlam was a thing last night. And I'll say this, overall, good show, not great show. No offense, Tom. The Detroit crowd seemed a little out of it at times.
The show had bad pacing.
Yes. Well, that's that. Okay, so I'm just going to jump on it. So I said before we came on here, I had a little bit of a hot take in how they produce these things. There is way too much time between matches. Way too much. Like, I know you've got to show your little commercial on Peacock and whatnot, but like, yikes. I'm like waiting 10 minutes between matches. I think the setup is kind of cool, but it's SummerSlam. I need a big theatrical stage. Like, this thing had like SummerSlam 1992 stage kind of. Like,
it was very plain.
It was very plain. It's what they've kind of done. Like, they did it in I believe it's basically what they did in London for Money in the Bank and what they did for Backlash in Puerto Rico. Like, just that
I don't
corner
like
entrance.
the ramp that curves.
It's so weird. Because I'm always just thinking like, okay, what's this going to look like on 2K? You know,
I was very much on the fence of going.
Okay, as was
there were
I.
a couple
Honestly,
tickets that were like reasonably priced, and like up until like Friday, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get a ticket. You know, and I'm so thankful because you can't see anything. Like, every
It's
time
too
they went
big.
to like the crowd shot, anywhere I could have afforded seats, I would have been watching a screen.
Yep.
So I would have spent, 6.5 hours in a car and barely been able and been there watching the show for freaking 40 hours.
Yep.
And then wouldn't have been worth it. So I'm glad I didn't go. But like, can we get into the matches a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, let's just go in order. Logan Paul Ricochet, phenomenal
match. I'll say this. I really wish they hit that Spanish fly and landed on their feet like they were supposed to. Like, but
yeah.
Again, that's it. I'm knocking them not being able to do a really difficult move. Like, it's like booing Tony Hawk the first time he tried the 900.
I was really not trying to enjoy that match. And I think that was one of my top matches of the night. I loved every second of it. I hate Logan Paul. He's really good at WWE.
He is. Like, he's a terrible person.
He's a bad
great
guy.
Wrestler.
Not even like his wrestling skills great, but he plays the crowd really well.
Yep.
I would have liked to see. I was telling I had a couple friends over I'm getting to become wrestling fans. All I wanted was Logan Paul, instead of to like kind of like he took a hit a little bit and just kind of like brushed it off. I wanted like the power up. I wanted the shake. I wanted the I think he would have done that really well.
Yep.
But man, Ricochet he's too good for what he's been getting.
Yep.
I'd like to see him win.
I was expecting, I don't remember if you guys remember a few years back, Ricochet and Will Ospreay like did like a super flip thing and they land in the middle of the ring looking at each other. I was hoping I was hoping they were gonna do a spot like that because they could have, but I was a little disappointed in the high spots that didn't happen. I was expecting like something more wild. I don't know
I was
how, but like I
I
was
was
expecting
expecting Ricochet
something.
to pull out the double moonsault.
Oh, would have been pretty awesome. I did like that they apparently the big thing on TikTok right now is, I mean, I know she has her own channel as well. Is like they show Samantha Irvine, the ring announcer, like announcing, and because she's fabulous at it, but like they show her announcing like Logan Paul wins. I've never seen the way she said Logan, like, here's your winner, Logan Paul, is the same way she would have said it over and over. But the way she's able to say it, but have a completely different expression, is very
Yeah.
impressive to me.
She's
From just a
great.
speech. Yeah, she's fantastic. And Logan's, of course, like, say it again. Come on, say it again.
Yeah.
One more time.
That
I'm
was
like, you
that was
son of a.
great.
Yes, it was a great match.
Great. And kudos to Logan Paul for going to see his brother.
Yes.
You know, that was a cool family move. We were discussing a little bit. He definitely had time to change on the plane. He did not have to show up in his gear.
Yeah. I don't know how long a private jet takes to get from Detroit to Dallas, but like what,
It's
an
like
hour?
Yeah, Jericho at All In when he
Yeah.
dressed up like Pentagon Jr. and then flew out, and then when he performed with Fozzy with still the Pentagon makeup on.
Yes.
Stuff, you could have.
And that always impressed me because I'm like, man, Jericho performed at like 1 a.m.
Tony Khan's private jet before
yeah,
Tony Khan was
true.
anything.
And then my favorite match was next, and that was one of the 4 main events. That was Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. And arguably, as a guy who hates Brock Lesnar, that may be the best Brock Lesnar match I ever watched. Of course, our Patreon chat, patreon.com/WNRDV for $1 a month. You can support the channel there. That chat was hilarious during that, but like Brock had a wardrobe malfunction. Cody just refusing to get down. Brock was sweating like Patrick Ewing in the fourth quarter. Like, ugh.
My non-wrestling friends that are becoming wrestling friends that were watching when Michael Cole said, "Damn it, Cody, stay down." That immediately just became a thing.
Yep.
And I think as we get into the semester of school starting again, but we're just like destroyed by all of the like graduate level papers.
Tom, stay down.
Damn it, Tom, stay down. That was the best showing of Brock Lesnar I've ever seen.
Yep.
Cody was. I didn't realize how much of a Cody Rhodes guy I was until that match. Like I was really impressed with Cody. I have zero complaints on that match.
Yep. Nick, anything from you?
I didn't see it.
That's okay.
I'll cut in when we get to the parts that I've seen. I will cut in. I can't,
all right.
Really comment.
Well,
I heard
after Cody beat Brock Lesnar, there was the match that had everybody yelling NRD. That's right. It was the Slim Jim Battle Royal, won by, of course, L.A. Knight. He won, and the best thing about it was after he won, they brought back the WWE Slim Jim commercial, and it was fantastic. They had cuts of the old Randy Savage thing. But yeah, no, it was a quick battle royal that didn't overstay its welcome. I had fun with it. I'm all for Slim Jim being in bed with WWE on this. Speaking of matches that made me want to go to bed, was followed by Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey.
This is where I started. I can comment on this.
Oh,
this is my first
here you go, Nick, because I don't want to.
Go ahead, Nick.
It was not very good. The crowd turned on it very fast, and I hope that this is Ronda Rousey's last match. I think that she could just
I'll say this, and I said this in our Patreon chat. What this match needed. So here's my thing. So there were 4 women's storylines going on, which would have given AEW a headache. You had Rhea versus Raquel. Okay, didn't have enough build. No problem. Throw that on a shelf. We gave the triple threat of Asuka versus Charlotte versus Bianca to the pay-per-view. Okay, no problem. It's for a title. We have Becky versus Trish, which is arguably the best story they're telling in the women's division. Top 3 overall, probably. And we said, no, we're not doing that on pay-per-view because of time restraints. But meanwhile, we can show 5-minute commercials in between every match. You couldn't book this better? Come on, that's ridiculous. What this match needed for me was, yes, they did it under MMA rules, but you did it in a wrestling ring. What this match needed was you needed to go back to Olive Garden, 1998 summer. Let's bring it back to the Lions Den, everyone. Okay, because this could very well mean that I could go to Olive Garden this weekend. Meet somebody, you never know. The Lions Den match when they had Ken Shamrock versus Owen Hart, like they don't like, or bring in the fight pit cage that they've had. I'm not a big fan of that fight pit, but
did any of you remember? Like, I think it was Owen Hart and Ken Shamrock, but didn't they fight with like cars and it was like in a circle with headlights? Like all the headlights were shooting in.
I know John Cena fought Eddie Guerrero like that in Chicago because he wore a
Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart fought.
Yes,
Gargano and Velveteen Dream did too, right?
Yeah. No. Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole fought in like a Hollywood backlot something or other. Yes. In which Velveteen Dream showed up like the barbed wire wrap baseball bat, like the guy from Walking Dead. I don't watch that show, but if you do, comment below what his name is. Is that his name? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
But I vaguely remember Ken Shamrock like choking somebody out on like a hood of a car or something.
Probably. I mean,
they could have made it a cinematic. If that was a cinematic match, I think it would have been better.
Absolutely, 100% agree. From what I've seen,
MMA like wrestling, it's just not like I feel like the fans like didn't even understand what were like confused by the whole thing.
I saw videos of the arena of the second that match started, a mass exodus to the bathroom.
Not even as soon as the match started, you can hear Bad Reputation playing, and people are whoop, bye, going to the bathroom, going to get merch.
Well, I'm counting that as the match starting. Sorry.
Yes. No,
I feel like the bell rang, and immediately I heard somebody go, "Boring!"
Ding, ding, ding! Boo!
Boo
the ref!
It was awkward.
It was not good.
It was.
Made me feel uncomfortable watching.
That was. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll get there, but it was the second shortest match of the night at 7 minutes 30 seconds. Shortest advertised match. Let's
still
see.
Too long.
Yeah. Then next came Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Gunther, of course, retaining. He will pass the honky tonk streak in 32 days, I believe. I would like to say this. This is another problem I have with their setup. When Drew McIntyre came out, they have like that corner strip that comes out that they try to like show, and it like lights, like the pyro goes off on it. It's so bad. It's horrible. It's like, this is why you need the grand stage or just something in that corner. So
I'm not a Drew McIntyre guy, so like.
But I'm just saying for everybody's pyro, like Cody's pyro, like, you know.
I'm just talking about the match. Dude.
Yes. The match was good though. You know, Gunther. I love me some Gunther. I love me some Gunther.
I do too, but it just didn't do it for me.
It was not as good as last year's Sheamus versus Gunther at all. But a decent match. I'll say this, after the Shayna Ronda match, I was like, okay, now let's okay. I guess it was kind of like
I was expecting it to be more hard hitting.
Yep.
No, I don't watch a lot of WWE, but does the Intercontinental titles, it's just like combinations of Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Gunther, and they just have this combination of them fight constantly. There's like nobody else sprinkled in there ever.
That's kind of what
it's just always the same
it was
people
Ricochet
fighting.
I think Ricochet fought for it at the Rumble, I think.
Oh.
No. He fought for a reason.
I don't know. I feel like maybe move on from the Drew McIntyres and the Sheamus and fight somebody else.
Yeah, no, I'm not against that. So Gunther and McIntyre was a thing that happened. And then a match that I had a problem with the ending. It was Seth Rollins defending his title against Finn Balor. I was all for
match.
It was a fun match, but my problem is Seth won it in a heelish fashion, and I don't like that.
Okay.
Like, if you reverse those roles, okay, the ending's fine, but I personally think Finn should have won. You know, I think Finn should have also been the demon to really bring it back to the whole set. Because I was there 7 years ago when Finn fought Seth in that match, and the building was electric for Finn. First of all, they revealed the Universal title, and everyone was pissed because it was just a red version of the WWE title, and everyone started chanting, "Fuck that belt. Fuck that belt." And meanwhile, I'm head over the heels for Finn Balor. Like, this is peak Finn Balor popularity.
Yeah.
And I'm going nuts. I'm having such a great time. And then he gets hurt, and I can't tell because where I was sitting was in the corner, like that was kind of across me, so I couldn't see it that well. But like, I remember he lifts up his hand and is holding his belt at the side, and I'm like, everyone's like, oh, he's not holding up the belt because even he knows how shitty of a design it is. But yeah, no, turns out he was hurt, so I think he
Buckle
should have been the
bombs,
demon
man.
for it. Yeah, took out Sting,
Almost
took
as
out
bad
Finn.
as leapfrogs. Almost as bad as leapfrogs.
Almost as bad. But yeah, the ending, man, I really thought Finn was going to win it when everyone came. I was like, oh, this is it. This is how it's going to do it. I'm like, oh, no, it's not going to screw him out. Shit. But I did like the callback of Finn with the paint on the shoulders at 7. I like that Seth came out in the shirt.
Yeah,
so,
Seth's entrance gear is untouchable.
Some Barbie world shit right there.
That man just knows what to fucking wear, and I am so into it. This is the best version of Seth Rollins we have ever gotten, and I think it's just exactly who he is.
Yep.
And it's finally letting him be Seth Rollins. I'm so amped. I thought Finn's gear looked great. I think the pants, which I'm not usually a fan of on him, just how they matched with the going into the white and purple shoes.
Nikes were sick.
They were sick. I liked that what are they called? Judgment Day came out.
Yep.
I think that's always exciting. I expected Finn to win. And then what's his name now? Damian Priest. To
JP Hooper.
Damian Priest to cash in.
Yep.
So because like now it doesn't really make sense because like Priest kind of cost Finn the match, and then they had like an exchange, so it doesn't make sense for like them to be feuding right now. And like, is Finn gonna get kicked out of Judgment Day? Is this gonna be like?
I don't think Damian's gonna successfully cash in his briefcase now, because I think Finn is gonna fuck it up for him, and that sucks. But because again, then it goes back to that statistic that I said a while ago, like the winner has not successfully cashed it in, like other than like 2 guys the last 5 attempts where it's like annoying, but
yeah.
So we'll see how that will have gone on Raw. Next, we had the women's triple threat match, which Charlotte Flair's Tater Tots tried to make it a 5-way at one point. Like, oh my gosh. Her shirt burst in the back, so shout out to the ref for helping her out there. Bianca Belair deserves a Grammy, an Oscar for how well she sold that knee injury. I thought she was legitimately hurt.
Thank God for Casey in the group chat, because I thought that was it.
You thought she was really out?
I thought she was done.
I had a feeling. I was like, I looked at it, I was like, because I try to notice outfits that people are wearing when they're doing like either security work or medical help, and somebody needed medical help earlier in the night as well, I feel like. And so during the Ronda Shayna thing, like I think Shayna or Ronda, one of the two got hurt, and they need medical help, and so like they just got in there wearing a basic WWE black polo, and so I noticed that those are the same people that were helping Bianca, and I'm like, oh no way, no, she's coming back.
I just thought it was real because like it wasn't like immediately medical's here. It took a little bit.
Yeah.
So like that made me think, I'm like, oh shit, like they had to get someone.
They had to do a 40-yard dash.
Yeah. So I'm so tired of Bianca Belair.
As am I.
I think the hair thing's gotta go. You don't need to whip your hair before every move you do. I don't like it. It's really getting tiresome. She's very strong, but she's so sloppy.
Yep.
That match could have been great, but it was so sloppy. And my friends were like, I feel like all I see now, like they only come over for the pay-per-views, is Asuka wrestling Bianca Belair.
Yep.
And I'm like,
you're not wrong on that. I'll say this. So I have a little bit of a fantasy prediction. So we'll cover what happened next real quick. So Bianca wins, and then I went, this is again where you want to be on our Patreon chat. I went, get EO out here. And then like seconds after I hit send, her music hits. I'm like, and shout out to Bayley for being the ultimate leader of the pack. She was a great blocker, like a running back in the NFL. EO's coming down the back, and Bayley's just clearing the way, taking out everybody. Yeah. And then boom. And also shout out to the referee, because I think this is the first time in the history of briefcase cash-ins where the wrestler went, I want to cash in. The referee said, "Okay, ring the bell." Not, you want to do what with it? Wait, are you allowed? Are you sure? Wait, no, you want to bring you this? You want to catch this in now, right now?
Yeah.
Not that now. Oh, let's ring the bell. And then like 20 seconds of spear. I'm like, no, it was just okay. Here you go, ring the bell. So that's I enjoyed that. But so my fantasy booking is this. Friday night on SmackDown, the Street Profits allegedly turned heel. Depending on how you read the room on this, they turned heel. They showed up in suits and beat up the Brawling Brutes and whoever the hell else
it's
they
like
were
the
facing.
new Hurt Business, right?
Yeah, it's like the new Hurt Business and whatnot, but they came out with Bobby Lashley and whatnot. So my thought is this: you put
Turn her
Bianca in that, turn her heel, and you eventually bring up Carmelo Hayes. So it's kind of the Judgment Day a Jace in a way, but it's its own thing, sort of on a separate show. You got your up and comer in Dom and Mello, then you've got Bianca Rhea, you've got a tag team, which Judgment Day does not have. I mean, Finn and Damien, but they're both solo guys. So that's my thought on that. Io showed her biggest weakness though, because they did the press conference afterward, and like she leaned heavily on Dakota and Bailey to answer questions and to talk for her. Like she talked a little bit, but like that is going to be the downfall of this ring. Like, yes, she's exciting in the ring, but she can't talk.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, English is not easy.
I know that. I get it. And I'm not saying, speak English, but like, I'm just saying, like, we're all excited for this reign, and then we might not get what we hope out of it. So
I think Bailey can do a really good job as a mouthpiece for that.
Yep.
Like Bailey kind of being Io's Paul Heyman. But Bailey, she was looking good. I saw that video of her walking backstage in a dress, and I was just like,
"Ooh, hug club
Bailey.
For life." You know what
Bailey,
I can just imagine? Instead of, I could just imagine, like, instead of Io's theme playing as they're running down, it's just Chariots of Fire. Do 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 do. Just whipping people.
I'm curious though, like what this is going to mean for Damage Control. If Bailey's going to be okay, being on the sideline.
I think she's going to have to, because I think they will wait for the initial complete implosion. Because Dakota Kai also said like she's not medically back yet. She was just there to be there for the moment. But she said 2024 we got big things cooking up. So I think Bailey will be the mouthpiece for now until she doesn't have to.
I also read that what's her name? The pirate,
Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane coming back.
She supposedly resigned.
Yep.
So I bet she factors into some there and hear this.
Well, Asuka was talking about how Asuka's got big things. Was it Asuka said, because Asuka used to team with her, or was it Io?
Yes, they were the Kabuki Warriors.
No, in Japan.
Oh, in Japan, I don't know.
What is it called? God, gosh.
I don't know what they were called, but like it was.
I can't think of what the promotion's called right now.
Stardom.
Stardom. There you go. Thank you.
Or Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Yeah, one of those two.
What? But was it Asuka and Kairi, or was it Kairi and?
I thought
Io?
it was Kairi and Iro.
So if it's Kairi and Io, Kairi's going to join Damage Control.
Could see it.
I'm not sure though. I'm not up on my Stardom to be honest.
I can't recall. That'll be dope though. Kairi had a great stint back in Japan and did great things.
Yep.
So I'm excited for her to be back. I think Kairi's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, she's fun to watch. Something else that was fun to watch was the main event. It was the longest match of the night. It was Tribal Combat. Jey Uso, main event, Jey Uso taking on the head of the table, the Tribal Chief, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Mr. Roman Reigns. And, of course, Roman won. Fun match. I liked the spots. I knew Solo was going to get involved at some point. No problem. The best part of it was, though, when Solo did get involved in the crowd, is the one guy yelling and pretty much doing commentary. Jey, you gotta get up, Jey. You main event, Jey Uso.
That was the only part of the match I liked.
The problem for me is the ending, and that is the fact that, and again, spoiler if you haven't watched this yet, folks, I'm sorry, Jimmy Uso costs him. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, he's really gonna win this. Holy shit. And because I had a feeling that Jay could win it, because just when Roman and Jay had words at the beginning, he said, if you beat me, I put this on you, not him, pointing at the ref. And I'm like, oh, maybe we're gonna have one of those moments, and that's when somebody turns. But yeah, so my problem is this. Go back to Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Jimmy Uso kicked Roman Reigns in the face. And Jay was like, oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Roman's going to kick Jimmy out. And so Jimmy stood up for his brother, and then boom, now he's costing him. So I'm like, what? So
it doesn't work. And yeah, I think you might have said it in the Patreon chat of the tribal rules match or whatever. Like, no one was allowed to interfere. And
it's supposed to be one-on-one, I think.
And like, cool. So now, like, was it that match? Like, I don't know. I think
it would have been cool if they would have like brought like the whole family out and like had like not like a lumberjack, but just had like them all surround the ring and stuff to make sure, like, you know what I'm saying, like have like a Samoan lumberjack thing or something where they're all out to watch the try. I mean, I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know.
That would have felt like a
popular opinion. I know the Bloodline is like the most popular storyline ever, and like this and that. They need to. I'm getting over like this swerves back and forth. They need to mix something else into it.
The problem with it is the Bloodline was the best storyline in wrestling, and then it hit a point where it's like, all right, it's done. It's no longer interesting. Here's your chance to finally wrap it up, and instead they're like, we're just going to squeeze another 1,000 days for Roman to become champion.
You should bring the Rock in, man. Aren't all the movie people striking and like not making anything right now? The Rock ain't doing nothing.
Well, no, Rock. I feel like Rock is not going to get involved because so I watched TikToks with my fiance tonight, and like there was a thing where they talked about like how a bunch of different actors have donated over $1 million to like the SAG after whatever it's called.
It's a charity for out of work.
Yes,
union
and like
member,
the Rock apparently. The Rock's donated the most money to it. But I feel like it's one of those things like Kevin Hart was supposed to host the ESPYs in July, and he did not do it as a way to stay like in solidarity with the writers that are on strike. Like he just didn't. So I feel like maybe The Rock doesn't want to do anything right now as a move of solidarity as well. Maybe and just a thought.
I was listening to the Scrubs podcast with Donald Faison and Zach Braff, and they talked about the strike because they're like, we can't talk about Scrubs right now. And that's like, I stopped listening to it for a while because it just was, they're going episode by episode, and I just got tired of it. But they're talking about the strike, and they had the guy who does like Adam Ruins Everything on, and they were talking to him about it, and because he's he's on the board of the union, and they were talking about it, and they're like, yeah, like there's no end in sight right now. Like this can go on for a long time, and I'm like, that's great. Like I am pro union through and through. Like I get it. Do I want to be able to watch Stranger Things sooner than later? Obviously, but like I'm thinking with like people like The Rock donating all that money to, because that's not going to like people that are like The Rock or Tom Cruise. It's going to like lower level people in the industry. So for like him to do that, I don't think I could ever see him crossing The Rock specifically crossing the picket line to do any work with WWE at all.
But isn't like WWE like exists in like its own? I don't really. Feel
it's its own bubble. Like they're not union.
It's not union. It's not union. But for then an actor to work a non-union job, it's not cool. So like, I don't think he'll do it. I think if this strike's over by January, he might do a Mania thing, but I don't think we'll get any Rock until the strike's over.
I just feel like that's the only place to go with this. I mean,
it's the only way. It's the only way, and The Rock can't win the title.
But it's just gonna be Cody's gonna win the belt at WrestleMania next year. I mean, that's the road they're going. But I mean, I just feel like I don't know.
Listen, I'll say this.
So many times Jimmy and Jay can bounce back and forth only so many times before it's just like I don't care anymore.
So do we want Cody versus Roman, or do we want Cody versus Rock?
well,
Cody versus Rock would be amazing.
I'll say this: I am potentially going to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia.
Same.
If I go to that, and Roman walks out with the title, I'm just gonna let Roman walk me down the aisle at my wedding because he'll hold on to the title that long. I'm trying to get definitive numbers here because I was under the impression that Roman did not pass Pedro Morales yet for longest reign, but I guess he has if I'm reading numbers correctly here. And so Roman is currently at 1,071 days if I'm reading this correctly. And then so he will
just Bruno?
No. So he is currently so Pedro Morales was number 5 at 1,027 days. Okay. Then it's Bruno Sammartino at 1,237 days. And then it's Hogan at 1,474. So Roman literally would have to hold the belt another year to pass Hogan. Like literally over another 300 plus days.
Why not?
He might, and that's
like unless that number's not accurate, but
it's Hogan. The number's never going to be accurate. I watched.
No. I'm saying for Roman, the 1,000.
I just literally just watched it before.
So it's pretty wild. We'll see what happens. But yeah. So let us know your thoughts, comments on SummerSlam below. But let's come here for the reason that we're all here. So I found a tweet on August 2nd. Now this is from a user by the name of Chanman at Chandran the Man on Twitter. He put out a list WWE wrestlers with the most wins in history. And let me just say it is WWE and WWF. I don't want anyone to think like it's 2001 on. So this list includes house shows victories. There are guys from the 80s, guys from the 90s, guys from the early 2000s, and the 2010s. On this list, there are, it's hard to say current because are guys really retired? We don't know. But yeah, so 15 wrestlers.
Do we have a few base questions? So you said it was with house show. Does this list include men and women, or is it just?
This is all men. 15 men.
Okay, it's good to know.
I don't think Shane McMahon would be on there, Nick.
Well, that's what I was hoping. You know,
I'm just trying to double check, but I believe there was all 15. I'll give you one hint. Actually, no, I don't even want to give you a hint yet.
You think all 15 are alive? That's what you're about to say.
Yeah, that's it. I believe all 15 are alive.
Oh,
that's not
good. How are we doing?
Yeah. So I'd say just go back and forth one at a time, and I'll check them off my list here, and let's see what we got here.
We'll see who's the winner.
If you want to play along at home, pause the video right now and type in the comments who you think is going to be it. So, all right.
What do you think, Nick?
Nick, who do you
got? I'm going first. I'm going to go. We just talked about this man, but it's Mr. That ain't going to work for me, brother. The Hulkster, Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan comes in at number 5 with 1,574 wins.
Wow. Okay, Ric Flair.
I'm sorry, who'd you say, Tom?
Ric Flair.
No, Ric Flair is not on the list.
Oh, I'm gonna
WWE matches. That's the thing. It's WWE.
Go Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not on the list.
Oh.
All right. I got a theme. I'm going to stick with my theme. Rick E. the Dragon Steamboat.
Rick E. the Dragon Steamboat, not on the list.
Okay. I'm so bad at this.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, number 9 on the list with 1,433 wins.
Oh, I got a good one to come back on.
Tom?
Bob Backlund.
Jeez, no.
Oh,
not on the list.
What about Triple H?
Triple H, number 14 on the list.
Oh,
1,032 wins.
Dwayne the Rick Johnson.
Dwayne the Rick Johnson.
Not on the list.
I thought I saw him on here. No, he's not on here.
I got a good one. I just thought of an obvious one. One of Dave's favorite wrestlers, Mr. Jonathan Cena.
Mr. John Cena is number 3.
Jesus Christ.
1,786 wins.
Oh, God, who could win more matches than Cena? There's 2.
Bret Hart.
Oh,
Bret Hart is number 1.
Oh,
1,882 wins.
don't even need a petition for that.
In your face, Nick. It's 1 to 5.
1 to 4.
1 to 4. Gonna be 5. Go ahead.
Oh man. What about? Well, see, he never wrestled, so I don't know how true this is. But what about subject of a guy we just talked about, Roman Reigns?
Roman Reigns is number 15.
Imagine he went to a lot of house show matches.
Number 15 on the list.
Going
900.
over.
He is the only one on this list that doesn't have over 1,000 wins.
Yeah.
994. Now, granted, this is as of August 2nd, so who knows what he did on house shows or whatnot. But so, Tom, your turn.
What about Andre the Giant?
That's what I was gonna say, but Dave said he was alive.
Andre not on the list.
I thought Andre would be a good one. Let's think here.
Just Googling.
There's some obvious ones we're missing. What about Batista?
Ooh.
Not on the list.
Ooh.
What about Edge?
Edge, good one.
Not on the list.
Oh. Randy Orton.
Randy Orton is on the list, number 11, with 1,276 wins.
Stone Cold Steve Austin?
We already guessed that. He is not on the list.
What? What about the Macho Man, Randy Savage?
Not on the list.
I didn't think so, but this is tough.
Everyone I'm thinking of is dead.
God, who could be number 2? It's gotta be so obvious.
Honky Tonk Man?
What's that?
Honky Tonk Man?
No, not Honky Tonk. Not on the list.
What about the Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah, that's what I couldn't get.
Not on the list.
Oh man.
Shocking.
I'll say this: you got to think of long tenured guys, company guys. They've had decade long. Probably, I'm trying to think of everyone on this list has been with the WWE at least over 15 years at this point.
I got some ideas.
You got one guy that's 80s, 90s. Then you got a couple guys that are 90s, 2000s. 1, 2, 3.
Undertaker?
Undertaker is number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Somebody obvious.
1836 for the Undertaker.
I have one.
2 to
I
9.
have one. Well, if we're going Undertaker, we're gonna have to do the arch nemesis of Blue Cane. We're gonna have to go with Red Cane.
Red, it just says Kane, so it could be Blue Cane, but 1563 Kane ranks number 6.
I knew that had to be.
What about Ron Simmons?
No.
Simmons. Not on the
Damn,
list.
no. Not on the
What
list.
about? This is a weird one, but he's been with the company a long time. What about? I don't know how much. Maybe he gets house show wins. I don't know. What about Dolph Ziggler?
No.
Been with the company forever.
Maybe next week when we do most losses.
Well, I was thinking in the same length of that. Like, what about the Miz?
No, I thought the Miz too. Miz probably don't win a lot of matches.
No.
He hasn't won one match this year, I think.
Let's see.
Give me some hints.
One of these guys is definitely retired, although he might do like random high school gyms. There's one guy, he was in the first match at WrestleMania.
Okay. That's not helping me. What about Kurt Angle?
Not on the list.
I guess TNA matches don't count.
Two of these guys are known best for being in a tag team or a trio.
Okay.
Marty Jannetty.
No.
Or a trio.
I'm thinking, who the hell was at WrestleMania 1?
What about
two of the people on this list are currently signed with AEW.
Oh, okay. What about
Oh, got one.
Who you got,
what
Tom?
about
Jake
go ahead,
Snake
Tom.
Roberts.
No.
Fuck.
What about
The two guys
Got
that are
it.
currently signed with AEW
Chris
are
Jericho.
no, but they are current active. One of them is active. The other, I think, has had one match, maybe
Dustin
two.
Rhodes.
No.
what about
Nick?
Paul White, the Giant?
The Big Show ranks
Yeah,
number
there you
8
go.
with
Thank you.
1,443 wins. The other guy who is with AEW is currently is active. He has an advertised tag match this Wednesday on Dynamite.
Oh no. Oh, I got. Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Jeff Jarrett.
No.
Oh,
RVD. No. That's not my guess.
Okay.
Um,
Advertised tag team match.
Ding? No.
They
Jeff
are
Hardy.
No.
Matt Hardy.
That is correct. Matt
What?
Hardy, number 10 at 1,309
How?
wins. Had a
How?
very strong version 2 was a cruiserweight champ a lot in like 2003. Had that. Remember when Jeff went away to Impact, Matt was still there for the most part. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 names left.
This is really hard.
Really hard.
Who's up? Me?
Okay. Who's up? So you still have the guy who was in the first match at WrestleMania 1. One of these has a son wrestling. One of these had a fake accent, and one of them
Kofi Kingston.
Kofi Kingston is number 12.
I would have never guessed that.
A son that wrestles, huh? Who's got? I got one. I got it. Rey Mysterio.
That is correct. Rey Mysterio comes in at number 7. 1,550 wins. Let me also double check that he was in the first match of WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure he was.
I don't know anything about the first match of WrestleMania.
I can picture it in my head like there was a match.
Yes, okay. He was in the first match
Full
of
disclosure,
WrestleMania.
Who did he wrestle?
I was not even born. I was like a fetus in my mom's stomach when WrestleMania.
He wrestled the Executioner that was Buddy Rose in a crappy mask. So
the Executioner. Oh no!
All right. So there's 2 left. One of them was in the first match at WrestleMania. The other one wrestled at SummerSlam last night.
Oh, last night.
Not Brock.
Seth Rollins.
He was in the Battle Royal.
Ron. Oh.
He was in the Battle Royal.
Otis.
Battle Royal. I didn't watch the Battle Royal. I don't.
Number 4
Doink.
was in the
Doink.
The Battle Royal.
He was in the Battle Royal. He's a big name. He's not a jobber. He's a big name. He's a former world champion. He's held every title in WWE except for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, that doesn't help me at all.
You said his name earlier on the broadcast.
Sheamus.
It is Sheamus at number 13.
Oh.
And then last is
I fucking hate Sheamus.
He was in the first match at the first WrestleMania. He has a Hasbro.
I give Sheamus props because I heard that he lives in Florida.
He has a Hasbro.
Is he alive?
Yes,
he has
is
a
alive.
Hasbro and he's alive.
What?
Has a Hasbro, is alive.
Lex Luger.
He was in a tag team with Rick Martel.
Tatanka.
No.
Coco Beware.
Is it a Hasbro I'd want?
Probably
Skinner.
Not
Nails.
Skinner.
Give me something else.
Giant
he
Gonzalez.
was in fact in a tag team with Rick Martel.
Ludwig Borga.
Let's see.
No,
When was I'm almost
Tito
certain
Santana.
What?
Yokozuna.
Santana?
It was Tito Santana.
Oh, Tito. I would have never guessed that.
At number 4 with 1783 wins.
I would have never.
That was wild.
Great. So who won?
You did.
Nick
that mean
won by a
I'm king
score
now?
of 1104. So yes, that's very.
But I got the
interesting
top
list.
2, so
Very interesting list. You got 3 of the top
You win
4.
because you got Tito Santana.
So yes, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Top 15. Maybe next week we'll do the top 15 losers in WWE history. That one gets pretty interesting as well. So yes. So of course, check us out next week for that. Leave us your thoughts and comments, concerns on SummerSlam in the comment section below. Get your Miami time shirt before summer runs out. ProWrestlingTees.com/The Wrestling NRD Broadcast, and that's nerd spelled NRD. And of course, subscribe to our channel. Tom's got a golden spaghetti shirt.
Time.
It is spaghetti, baby. And yeah, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/WNRDB. Love it. Absolutely love it. Maybe we'll put up some spaghetti site merch for Tom on the Pro Wrestling Tees site. So until next time, on behalf of myself, DaveCTheVoice, His Royal Says Highness, Mr. Tom Sasso, and of course the founding father and the father of Owen, Mr. Nick Carpenter. Don't forget to tell your mother you love her every day because like Kevin Durant said, Mom, you're the real MVP. Good night, everyone, and God bless America.
yeah.